Okay. I do remember this question back in October. I just can't remember where you live or as far as what state you're in. I can guess, but I would sort of like you to let me know. Private message me, let me know that. Or I guess respond to my message I'm going to send you to let you know that I approved your question, I answered it. Okay, so the employee is not backing off of the personal suit made against your child as a public servant, which we've dealt with situations like that representing our clients in juvenile court against these kind of charges. And, there's a sort of I'm not going to say it's a unique way to sort of approach it, but I don't believe that school people should be allowed a double standard. I just don't. So, there's a way to approach that defense, because I don't, especially if the school is trying to wash their hands of it and saying, well, she did this. It wasn't us. Well, the reason that highly likely that the reason that they're saying that this activity was not a manifestation of his disability is because if they admitted it was, then there would be some culpability on the part of the school district in a few areas. Not only were they not providing your child with a FAPE that allowed this to occur, but see, then the school employee has them on the back end on the union side, which could potentially make a claim against her school district for not properly training her, not providing the right level of support, having notice of this child's behavior. I mean, I could list a whole thing. And quite frankly, I'm a little bit shocked that more school employees aren't taking that route to utilize the union mechanism when the schools pack students into behavioral classrooms, don't provide sufficient training, the right level of support. But I think this is cowardice going after the child, especially if the child has an IEP. Absolutely, and I'll repeat that. I think it's cowardice for any school system, for any employee of a school system to take the route of juvenile court to go after a child that has an IEP. There is nothing that there is no juvenile court in this country set up to help therapeutically or remediate issues that our federal government and state governments through the I'm not gonna say, because nobody has ever asked me to contribute, but they take our taxes and they spend it on programs like this, on special education, state and federal. Okay, so if we have funding that is there to support our children inside special education, all right, and there's an acknowledgement that includes all areas of educational performance, which includes social, emotional, and behavior development, and if the school system fails in that responsibility, that's a safety net. 504 is a safety net. Juvenile court, mental health, all those other aspects of society are down here, guys. They're not up here. These are the safety nets. And so when you sit there and you bypass the safety nets, and when you cut an intentional hole in your net here to sit there and have somebody else deal with it, another governmental agency, shame on you. And you deserve what's coming. Whatever's coming your way. It's just a bad karma. And if you want that bad karma in your life, school people, then do it. But it is a lazy, lazy, lazy way to deal with an issue. All right? And if it's a funding issue because of your superintendent and your board of education, then how can you blame the child? Quite frankly. Come on. But the juvenile courts are not set up for that, because most of the overwhelming majority of the school systems in this country are set up on a rehabilitative standard. And through a rehabilitative standard, that means that we're not in this to punish. We're not out for our pound of flesh. We're there to try to therapeutically or take corrective action to put the lives of dysregulated children, and that's all children are dysregulated, on, that may be impacted by their environment, may be impacted by their home life. Not necessarily disability, guys. It's not set up for that. Okay? That's why we have these other things. But I'm just going to go ahead and entertain that idea. It's still the mechanism for rehabilitation. There is no punishment factor. And if the school system has the higher responsibility per the IEP, which, by the way, the federal law and the state law then moves into the juvenile system, to where the juvenile system also is treated as a school and a responsibility to provide the child with a free and appropriate public education. So if there's an interconnectedness, then this is just kicking the can. This doesn't work. So in every one of our cases, what we do is we try to back this up to where this is where corrective action lies. But to have them not acknowledge it as a manifestation, this is where you sort of need a due process case in order to challenge that manifestation determination, and then start backing this up with some pressure from the parental end. All right. And, let me know what your current status is. If you have an appointed attorney, or if you've went out and hired an attorney to represent you on the juvenile side, depending on where you are, if it's where I think you are, then, potentially we could step in to help you out. Okay. Sorry this is happening to you. It's horrible.